Hello, Fred Douglas, and welcome to today's music lesson. So this music lesson is going to be our last that we do in this school year, and hopefully it's going to be our last YouTube music lesson, and in the fall I'll be seeing everyone back at Fred. But for today's lesson, for our last one, we're going to be doing some fun and easy games, I guess. Alright, so the games we're going to be doing are music games. So for example, the first one I have up here on the screen already is called Guess the Sound. So for the first game, we're going to be listening to some random sounds. So they're not going to be anything specific, just all kinds of different weird things. And then we're going to play a game that's called Zoomed In, and I played this game with some of my PLC club meetings. So if you went to any of those, you played some of these zoomed in games. But for this one, I'm going to show you really zoomed in pictures of different instruments, and then you're going to have to guess what instrument it is. And then the last game we're going to play is another Guess the Sound game, except for this time it's going to be specifically music instruments, which is going to be a little bit harder than our first guessing game. And then some other things that you can do during the summer, you can play hangman. So I also did hangman with some of my PLC clubs. And you can create your own hangman games. Maybe you can add names of musicians or singers or artists in, and then your friends can try to guess them. Or maybe you can go back to Fred's YouTube channel, check out some of the videos that I uploaded there with some of the DIY instruments and some of the lessons. So you can always go back to this YouTube channel, check out some of my older videos, maybe some of Miss Shupard's videos, some of Miss Bell's videos, and some of Mr. Smith's videos, because we have a lot of extra goodies here on Fred's YouTube channel for you to look at during the summer if you're ever bored or need something to do. So with that being said, let's go ahead to our first game that we're going to do together. And this is a Guess the Sound game. Alright, so I'm going to play it, and it's going to play for a few seconds, and then we're going to try to guess. Alright, so pretty easy at the beginning here. Let's go ahead and get started with our sound guessing game. And as we're playing this, I'll also try to give you some hints. So if you just want to play this by yourself, you can go to YouTube and search Guess the Sounds. But for this game, as we're playing together, I'm going to try to give you some hints if you ever get stuck in any of the sounds. So let me get my volume up nice and loud. And then we will start playing our game. Alright, I'm going to pause it quickly here. So this first one sounds like it could be a few different things, but this first one is actually an animal, which maybe you guessed that, but what kind of animal is it? If you're playing along with me as we're doing and going through this video, maybe you could take out like a little spare piece of paper or something where you can write down numbers and then your answers. So then at the end, I'll show you all of the answers. Let's keep listening. All right. Sound number 2. Ooh, this is getting loud. All right, sound number 2. Oh, sound number 2 is pretty short. Let's go back and listen to a little bit more. Sound number 2. All right, so that was not an object of any sort. All right, so your guess is that it was not an object. It was something else moving. Let's say that. All right, next one, I think. All right, so that one is also probably not what you think it is. It's some kind of device. All right, so the devices that you have these days don't make that sound. It's an older device that makes that type of sound. Hopefully that hint helps, and go ahead, write down your answers. All right, so I think that one is kind of pretty easy. All right, sounds like two different things. I'll say, I don't want to give too much away, but it sounds like two different things, two objects interacting with each other. All right, that one is pretty easy too. I don't think I'm going to give you any hints for that one. All right, so that one is pretty tricky. Even the first time I listened to it, I wasn't too sure what the answer was for that one. So that one is pretty hard. All right, now this sound sounds pretty similar to, I think it was sound number 5 that we heard a few sounds ago. It almost sounds exactly the same. All right, that one I think is pretty easy. Hopefully you've heard that sound before. Maybe you haven't been using it so much in the last few months, but I'm sure you've heard something like that before. All right, so for this one, again, it is, I'll say that it is someone walking, but what are they walking in? Or what should I say, what are they walking on top of is your hint. Next one. All right, so for that one, there's a few different things going on. There's the main sound that we heard that was kind of some kind of metal objects moving around. And then there was the background, which was pretty loud and noisy. So think about, what does the background noisiness say about the object? Maybe that will help. All right, so this one is something metal. All right, so that thing, this material, let's say, is sometimes used in clothes or shoes or something like that. All right, so that one was something you will hear outside. All right, that was another one that you should hear outside, maybe outside your window. All right, I think some of these are too easy. I don't think you should get any hints for that one. You should get that. All right, so this one kind of sounds like one that we heard a few, I think 2 sounds ago. So it's something similar to that. All right, that one was easy. I don't think you need any hints. All right, sound 18. All right, sound 18 is something overhead, let's say, something up high. All right, so that could be a few different things. It's kind of really loud, really shrill, not a pleasant sound. All right, so that one too, that could be a few different things. Some kind of device or some kind of machine. And I think we have 2 left. And last one, 22. All right, and now the answers are coming up. So if you want to check your answers that you wrote down, maybe on your spare little piece of paper that you had numbered, maybe you can pause the video right here so you can check the answers, and I'll just put it up on the screen for a little bit and then move on to the next activity. All right, so here are the answers. They should be coming up in a second here. All right, I'm going to pause it and read through the answers. So number 1 was a growling dog. So I said it was some kind of animal. It kind of sounded like maybe a big cat, a tiger, or a lion or something, but it was a dog. Number 2 was walking on gravel. Number 3 was that tricky one. It was an old style SLR camera. So the sound that you heard for number 3 was the sound that you heard for number 3 was the lens, when you move the lens in and out and it goes longer and shorter. That was the first sound. And then after that, when you heard the flash going off, so when you take a picture, the flash goes off and some of the gears and things inside the camera move. So that's what you heard for 3. Number 4 was stirring a cup. So you heard the cup and then maybe a metal spoon or something in there. Number 5 was pouring water from a bottle. I think that one was pretty easy. 6, rattling paintbrushes in a tin. That one was a little bit tricky, but it did sound like a few different things moving around. Then we have pouring water in a toilet, and it says actually soup. So like I said, it sounds pretty similar to number 5 that we had. Number 8 was an alarm clock. That one was easy. Number 9, I said that it was someone walking, but what were the footsteps walking on top of? So this one was walking in snow. All right, then number 10 was putting coins in a vending machine or a ticket machine. So that one was the sound that you heard in the background. There was some loud sounds going on. And then the main sound was the coins in a vending machine. 11, I said, was something metal. So that was keys on a key ring. 12 was Velcro ripping. If you ever had Velcro shoes or maybe, I don't know, Velcro something else before, you know that sound. 13 was a car engine. Number 14 was a strimmer, and honestly, I am not too sure what that is. Number 15 was a chainsaw. 16 was a lawnmower. All right, so 14 and 16 sounded pretty the same, like some kind of lawnmower cutting the grass. 17 was a emergency vehicle. So for in the UK, it says it was an ambulance. Hours sound similar to that. 18 was a helicopter. 19, a doorbell. 20 was a food blender. 21, vacuum cleaner. And the last one, 22, was water down a sink plug hole. So we had three different water ones here. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and move over to our zoomed in game. And oh, I already had my first answer on the screen for you there, but let me open this up so you can see. Move my camera over. Alright, so the first one, I already showed you the full entire instrument, but let's just take a guess, do the first one together. So you can see some kind of wood, and then take a look at the shape of the wood. How is the shape cut? Alright, now in picture number 2, you can see that there are some strings on this instrument now. So it could be a few different instruments that have strings. Now this one should be a pretty good giveaway. You see that it has 4 strings on here. Now we didn't have a chance to talk about this too much, but what instrument has 4 strings on it? For a guitar has 6 strings. So it's not a guitar, it's something smaller. And our last picture, it is actually a ukulele, which we have in the classroom. And most of these instruments are going to be instruments that we have somewhere around the classroom, or maybe they're instruments that the 5th graders play in band or something like that. Next one, so we have something colorful here, something small and colorful. Alright, so you can see my picture is hiding the corner a little bit, but now we have 4 different colors. We have something yellow, green, blue, and red. Alright, so now for these answers, you can do the same thing. You can write down your answers on a little piece of paper, or you can type them in the comments of this video. Alright, next picture. Alright, so now you can kind of see what shape it is. Before we were looking at the tops of these objects, but now we can kind of see the shape of what they are. Alright, and now I'm going to reveal the answer to you. So these are some egg shakers. So I know especially in 3rd grade, we use egg shakers at the end of the year. And we also made a few DIY egg shakers in some of our YouTube lessons. Let's go on to instrument number 3. Alright, so this one I talked about in one of my YouTube lessons about interesting instruments. Alright, so that's the first picture, zoomed in. Next picture, this one should be a giveaway from the top of this image. But look at what else you see in the picture. Our last zoomed in one, this time on the bottom you can kind of see some kind of shadows going on there. Alright, now I'm going to reveal our last picture, or our full complete picture, and this one is a piano, but it's not only a regular piano, it is a player piano. So we talked about the roles of music here. And the piano will actually play itself when you put the roll of music in, and you'll see the keys moving and these 2 foot pedals moving by themselves. Next one, this zoomed in picture. So this isn't really an instrument by itself, it helps you hear this instrument. Hopefully that makes sense. Alright, so this one should be a little bit more obvious now. Last zoomed in one, it's the bottom of this object. Alright, so let's take a look at the whole entire thing. A microphone. So I said it's used to amplify the voice, which is also an instrument. Next one, All right, so this one might be a little bit tricky. I remember in my clubs, yeah, this one was a little bit tricky. All right, so something red and something a little bit on the thinner side. Next picture. All right, so it's also something red, but look at the texture this time. Look at the texture of the object. All right, so now you can see that there are two different things going on here. All right, and now the final answer for this one. These are two rhythm sticks that we used. So in music class, we had some red ones, we had some plain wood-colored ones, and we also had some blue rhythm sticks that we played with. All right, this one. So there's some kind of design, some kind of pattern on this object or this instrument. All right, now this one should be super easy with this picture. Now, one last picture of it zoomed in, you can see that there are two individual instruments here that make a pair of instruments. And that one was maracas. And I think this is our last one for today. All right, so you might think this one is easy, but I want you to be specific. What in the whole entire instrument category, what is this type of instrument specifically? I'm trying not to give too many hints here. Here's another zoomed in picture. This one should be giving you a lot of information. All right, last zoomed in picture. All right, so by now you probably know that it's some kind of drum. But if you were in drumming club, do you remember what kind of specific drum it was? Let's take a look. So this one was actually our bass drum. Let me go back. Our bass drum that we used those round mallets to hit on the top. So this was a drum that you used mallets or sticks to play with. All right, so that was our last part of the game, and this was our last YouTube video for music class, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a great, awesome summer. Stay safe and healthy, and I will see you next year. Bye!